I just bought this $160,000 Porsche for $1,000. But now, over 20 years later, these early Cayennes, the car that literally saved the brand from extinction, have gone neglected and abused, which is why I was able to get this top trim Cayenne Turbo for just $1,000. But due to the neglect and abuse, this car has been left with many, many issues. But that's okay because I have these, which by the blue tape you can tell are many boxes of many things from FCP Euro to get this Cayenne Turbo back to being roadworthy.
And I desperately need to get it back on the road because my friend Jackson challenged me to see who could build a better Porsche for less than $10,000. So let's get this thing fixed up.
This car has a ton of problems, but the most annoying one so far has been this. To get this car moved at all, we need 2 jump packs. And that's because the battery on this thing is absolutely toast. Normally, that would be super easy. But for some reason, Porsche did the dumbest thing I've ever seen on a car, and they took the battery and they put it underneath the driver's seat. Why they did that is absolutely beyond me, but it means replacing the battery in this car is a complete pain, and I'm gonna have to look up a video on how to replace a battery, which is borderline just embarrassing. Gonna do that right now first, before I get started on the more important stuff. There are 2 bolts right here that hopefully just allow the seat to swing up. I'm not quite sure about that, and thankfully right now, the jumper pack is still on, so I can move this seat and access this. And hopefully just tilt. Oh, it does. It appears the battery is just under here. There's the battery. I'm sure it won't be difficult to lift a heavy battery out of there. Yep. There it is. Oh. Now that we've swapped the battery, we can get rid of these things and never use them again on this, hopefully, and move on to the next pressing thing on this car, which is just a really good service. I'm gonna start with doing an oil change and seeing what the oil that comes out of this engine looks like, because that could be make or break for me. If the oil is metally, that's bad. First step to any good oil change is uncapping. And we have Gail joining us today because Gail has never done an oil change.
I have not.
And before she pulls a motor on her car, I figured she probably should learn how to do an oil change because that's a big step.
Yes.
So this is the drain plug, this is the oil filter. First step, remove the drain plug. This drain plug is cooked looking.
Yeah, it's looking rough.
The drain plug in this car looks like crap. And rather than guess what size it is, I've got this new Febby one. And I'm gonna use it to size up the new one. Normally, I'd have you do this, Gail, but this kind of looks stripped.
Well, it's still educational for me to just watch the process in real time, you know?
Right.
I haven't been under very many cars.
Well, welcome to the underside of the Cayenne. That is some crap looking oil. We've got this lovely Hank's oil filter. Shout out them. And I'm gonna swap it. Right here is the old one. Really easy when it's on the bottom of the engine. Sometimes they're in the worst spot ever. You have a new task.
I have a task?
There's an oil filter wrench set, and you have to get the right one on there.
Okay. No?
You picked it right the first time.
Yes! My
Right.
intuition was correct. I just didn't like
You didn't
throw,
trust your gut.
throw it on there hard
Yeah,
enough.
you kind of gotta.
I do have that problem. I gotta get better about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try this extension.
There it is. Ew. I'm helping, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, and then new filter pops in. I go until hand tight. That is one very important thing that's easy to miss in an oil change. You need a copper crush washer, and this washer isn't designed to be used once, so we can't reuse this one. Basically, it goes in here and then crushes up against the oil pan, and that's how it doesn't leak.
Oh.
So easy to miss that when you're doing an oil change. So it's about there, and then a nice good hand tightening. Should be snug.
Cool.
That's about it. And then we gotta fill the thing up with oil,
Nice.
which means she's coming down. The next step is Google the oil capacity for this car.
Jarvis, Porsche. come on.
8.8 to 9.2 liters, 9.3 to 9.7 quarts. I see why it came with so much oil. This is 5.25 quarts or 5 liters. I think the timing chains might need to be done on this car. Oh, wow. Spill free. All right, now I would say is the right amount of oil in there to start and run this thing, and then let it idle down a bit, and then check how much oil is in it.
Okay. It is on there now.
All right, iron it up. Right in where it should be. Okay, I think the motor's good. I think I have a bad oil pressure sensor. If you sit in the car and you look at the oil pressure gauge, it doesn't move, which is pretty worrying for me. I mean, so this is not every engine you can do that, but you see the timing, you see those chains right there?
Oh, yeah.
So if it's a good way to check if your timing chains are going bad or your guides is just touching those when the car's off, which was why I was a little bit worried, but the car had no oil in it, so it shouldn't be a big deal. But that's not bad. This is all seems normal. I do think I need an oil pressure sending sensor though, and I don't know where that goes, but it could be somewhere really dumb in this engine. But honestly,
very
the car sounds healthy now. Now, as you can see in this car, it has sat outside for a long time. There's crap everywhere, and one thing that you do want to change in a car like that is your air filter. You never know what kind of critters have made their way into your vehicle. The air boxes are right here, and then the other side. Ooh, I'm missing a screw there. And this is where the other air box is. So. See what lies on the other side. Oh, dude, not that bad. How you feeling about that filter? Not bad?
It honestly, it's not horrible.
Well, we've got new Hank's filters in there. Goated filter company.
Yeah.
Shout out Hank. We're gonna clean out all the junk. You wanna clean out all the weird little crevices that stuff could have gotten into. And Dale's doing a nice job of that. She's taking care of it for me. But all things considered, it actually looks all right. We've come up with an method for cleaning out these vents. I think I can safely say those vents are clear. It looks like this came off at some point because someone welded this plastic on. Gail's putting in the new Hank's filter. Look at that, that is gorgeous.
Yeah, it looks.
She's gonna be breathing good. I'll put the new filter in.
Shout out Hanks.
I could try to figure out how to do this myself, but FCP Euro makes great videos, so I'm just gonna watch theirs.
Luckily, FCP Euro has a great video on how to do the plugs and coils in this car. Since it's been sitting for so long, this is a key piece of maintenance to take care of, and hopefully it'll make this twin-turbo V8 run like new again.
These look very old. Got our 5/8 spark plug socket. A little bit of oil on these. While I do these spark plugs, Gail's gonna remove the coils on the other side. Oh, they're out?
Yeah, they're done.
Where are they?
Right here.
Oh, cool. Never mind. Gail
Yeah,
already did
this
them.
side's already done. Thomas, put that in there.
Alrighty. It did start and it didn't misfire. Now all the fluid in the engine has been changed out for some good stuff. I have to do the fluid in the transmission. Pretty easy in these cars. You do have to do the same process that if you watch the Range Rover video, you might recognize, which is get the transmission up to temperature, shift some gears, blah, blah, blah. But not too bad. Gonna drain out the old fluid out of this drain plug here. I got some new ones of those from FCP. Fill it up from the fill plug here. Both the plugs for draining and filling are on the bottom, which is kind of weird, but again, shouldn't be too bad of a process. As if filling up a transmission was already not knowing enough. Now we have to do it straight up and then over. Next step in this process involves running the car and cycling it through the gears to get the transmission to suck up more fluid, and then I have to fill it up again when it gets up to temperature. Kind of annoying, but not too bad. And I'm gonna do that very quickly. I also need my autel so I can see what the temperature of the transmission is. Now the official procedure I'm gonna turn the car on, cycle through the gears a few times, leaving in each gear for about 5 seconds, and then let the transmission get up to temperature and check the temperature with my auto. And then I believe when it gets to above 35 Celsius, then finish filling it up. Now I have to finish filling it up while the car idles. All right, the auto is showing we are at 27 degrees, which means we're getting warm, but it's not warmed up yet. We're still gonna have to add some more fluid. Pulled this bad Larry out for the first time, the fresh service. Might have some leaky valve covers. That could be a thing that it has. That would be suboptimal. If anything though, it's just burning off a ton of oil that dripped onto it over many, many months. Now that the transmission and the engine are fully serviced, everything is running like it should be, which is really good. I can move on to doing the brakes. I did throw some liquid moly friction reducer in the engine off camera, which actually made a big difference. Got rid of a lot of that tickiness. I think the engine also just needed to be some stuck lifters, some clogged injectors were causing a little bit of excess noise. After the car got some temperature in it, I let it run for a while. It sounded a whole hell of a lot better. So now I can start working on the brakes, and I'm realizing that there is a locking wheel nut here, and I don't know where the key is, so I have to find that quickly. I feel like this is one of those things that when you buy a $1,000 car, you don't even expect it to come with. So the fact that I have this is very exciting. Heavy, ugly, horrible. I've certainly seen more annoying brakes to work on. Go. Spring out. The old beat up pads. Time for some new ones. As always, these are from FCP and they're excellent and they'll go right in. Boom. 2. This will go in. And all I gotta do is plug in a new pad wear sensor, which I also have. New wear sensor, plug in, corner down, 3 to go. Gonna bang out the same thing on this side. Hopefully should be as easy. Nothing goes wrong. And if that's the case, then this is just gonna be some time lapse of me doing brakes on a $1,000 Porsche. A little bit dirty, but both front brakes are done now. Looking good. Really wasn't too difficult. Definitely a little bit time consuming, and now we gotta move on to this nice rear brake. And then hopefully we're one step closer to turning this $1,000 Cayenne into a lovely running and driving Cayenne turbo. I did let it run for a while though, and I saw a lot of smoke from the engine bay that I'm thinking is valve cover gaskets, so might need to work on that soon. The lower control arm design makes it really difficult to access these bolts. One rear corner done. Time to go take care of the other side. Now if you watched the first video, you know that we got this. This is a new head unit. The old head unit will not turn on. This one they gave me for free because I don't know if it works, so maybe the new one will work, maybe it won't. And if this one doesn't work because it was sitting outside for a while, I'm just gonna get an Android one because they're like 150 bucks. But hopefully the free one works because I wanna make sure everything else works in the car, like the radio and stuff. The first step though is getting the old one out. Really easy to get this radio out in this car, which is nice. You just gotta pop this big old trim piece off, and there's a bolt here, 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 and here. I'm gonna take those out really quickly, and then I will show you what hopefully might be the problem. I might just be able to fix this head unit also. Head unit is out. We can go put it next to the new one and see what we can see. Looks the same, I think. Unfortunately, I have many accounts of bad news for you guys. I got these head units both on the bench. This one is dead. It's also from a 958 Cayenne, or a 957 Cayenne on a 955, which we thought might be the case. This one, dead also. No powering on, no nothing, so I'm gonna have to order a new head unit. I went to move the car to do one more thing to it, which my plan was to replace the door, and then I noticed that it was misfiring really badly, which is new, and I got a code for an injector on cylinder number 2. Upon listening to it, it sounds like this injector is not firing. Not what I was looking to do today, but it is now what I'm doing. All right, I have access to the injector harness. And I think the next step, logically, would be to unplug the injector while it's running and see if it makes a difference. That did make a difference. Now it sounds fine. As to not exacerbate this issue drastically, I'm only gonna do this once, but if you push on this harness in a certain way, you lose injector on cylinder 2. What is unfortunately happening is the cover right here for the spark plug pushes on the injector wiring. But you also don't really want to run it without this cover, so I'm a little bit torn on what to do. What I might do is just not run this cover. It shouldn't become a problem, so I think I'm going to do that. I have remedied the misfire. I need a new head unit, so that hasn't gone well. But I have one thing that I know will go well, and that is replacing my door. So I'm going to flip the car around now that it's not misfiring, and do that. And then hopefully I'll have a much better Cayenne than we started this video with, which I know I do, because it's no longer ticking like a madman. Transmission is serviced, we've got new filters, everything should be a lot healthier, but there are definitely more issues to tackle in another video on this car. The door on this car is heinously rusty, like so badly rusty. And so bad. You probably saw that in the intro video, but yeah, I bought a new door. My friends at RD Exotics had the exact door I needed, which super clutch. 3 plugs, a couple bolts, and then I'm obviously gonna have to take this door card off this door later. The new door is on. Unfortunately, couldn't get a head unit here in time to fix it for this video, so you're gonna have to subscribe to see the next video. And you're also gonna wanna subscribe because I ordered a lot of other cool stuff for this car that's coming soon. We're gonna get it running right, we're gonna get it looking right, and I think it's gonna be a super, super cool Cayenne Turbo. Something a little bit more unique and a little bit more fun than it is currently. But if you wanna see that, make sure you subscribe.